What is it?
You look so relaxed, I thought I'd scare you.
I can get scared of loud and sudden noises, and also Professor McIntyre. That can be quite terrifying.
Are you frightened of sudden noises? Do you have a phobia?
Not quite a phobia, just a startling, just normal human nature when loud noises approach me.
Have you noticed that the word phobia has been hijacked by certain political groups, like
Yes.
homophobia and transphobia and.
Well, it's not even words anymore. I would say it's suffixes have been hijacked. It's not just words. It's also suffixes, like phobia has been hijacked, or ism has been hijacked.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure there's or anti. Oh, okay, anti still is what it is, but but anti is strategically used. For example, the abortion debate, for example, there's not two sides. There's four sides. You can be pro-life, anti-life, pro-choice, or anti-choice. You could also be pro-abortion and anti-abortion. So there's actually 6 sides to a two-sided debate.
Oh, all right.
So that's one example of hijacking prefixes and suffixes. But if we just drill down on phobias, I think we could be quite enlightened. I hear you prepared a list.
Well, I haven't prepared a list. There's a website. It's called fearof.net, and it's a whole.
Why would I click on that? I'm afraid of it.
One thing we have to get clear is this:
okay.
When people use the word phobia politically, they're using it in a very different context than the word is used psychologically. Yeah. Psychologists are the ones who came up with the word phobia because it really means fear. Fear is an emotion. Okay. But when politicians use it, especially from the left, I mean almost exclusively from the left, I don't use these words. But for instance, if we have a homophobia, when the left uses that word, the word phobia, and attached to the prefix homo, homo means same. It doesn't mean queer. It means same. Okay,
right?
As in homogeneous. When you get a bottle of milk and you homogenize it, you get.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the word phobia, coming from the Greek, really just means to be fearful.
So homophobia really ought to mean fear of the same. So fear of the same thing. Oh my goodness! I can't stand routine. I'm homophobic. That just. But
I want to make this point. I want to make this point. Just because I don't like homosexuals does not mean that I fear them. Okay? Just because I don't like transsexuals doesn't mean that I fear them.
You love homosexuals. You love them all the time.
No,
you love homosexuals.
We're having an academic.
You have an endless love for them. You just go out for them. You just can't wait to go into them, in their clubs and stuff. Right?
I thought we were going to talk that way.
Well, I'm smart about it, unlike you. So,
I see.
But you are right. It is divisive to use that kind of terminology for political agenda.
For instance, this website is called fearof.net, and you can go on there, and there are 100 phobia lists. There are top 100s.
No, it's legit if it's a .net. Good job.
Yeah. It's a good job. Yeah. So we're all very familiar. I think even globally, we're all afraid of arachnophobia, which is the fear of spiders, and we're also a fear of claustrophobia, which is the fear of closed spaces.
No. Fear of claustrophobia is different than claustrophobia. It's when you're afraid of the fear of being claustrophobic.
What?
Yeah, it's called claustrophobia.
Oh, okay. So there are metaphobias.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good. You should publish a list of the metaphobias, right?
Yeah.
But there are 100. Some of them are really quite interesting. Like cynophobia is the fear of dogs. I actually have a cynophobia. Because when I was
No. You're doing this wrong. You don't fear it. You hate them.
No. Look, we could admit to having phobias. Okay. Everybody has phobias. And I'll tell you where my cynophobia, my fear of dogs, happened. When I was visiting my dying grandfather, who was the patriarch of our family, he was dying in a nursing home. And when I was a little child, I think I was like 8 years old when he died, but my mom took me to see him for the last time. So it was a very solemn occasion when we opened the door of the nursing home, and we went up this winding staircase, right? I was the last one on the winding staircase. This little terrier dog, this little yippy dog, ran out of the kitchen and started chasing me up the stairs and nipping at my ankles. From this day on, I hate dogs. I both hate them. Both. I both hate them and I fear them. So I want to establish this connection. It is possible to both fear something and hate something at the same time.
It's also possible to hate or be afraid of.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That's the point.
So when Ilhan Omar or some person from the left goes on the stage and says that person is transphobic or Islamophobic or she very well may be she very well may be disinforming her own constituents, the people she's talking to, and pointing out maybe the person she's referring to does hates trans or any part of the groups I listed.
Right.
Maybe that's true.
Right.
But they probably don't. They're probably not afraid of it, especially if they're speaking.
But let's examine this. Let's examine. If you are a heterosexual individual, let's say you're a heterosexual male, and all of a sudden you have an encounter with another male who's homosexual, and the homosexual comes on to you, and it disturbs you, it assaults you, it offends you.
We could be even more graphic. Let's say that they were, like, as a little boy, they went to the wrong Catholic priest, had a bad encounter.
Or the wrong scout tent.
Exactly, and then they had a fear of, all homosexuals from that unfortunate and vile and evil encounter.
Right.
Hopefully they'll grow to realize obviously not all homosexuals would ever conceive of doing that.
Right.
But it potentially could develop a fear, not out of malice.
But it's important to state this very clearly. One can have a fear without a hatred, one can have a hatred without a fear, and one can have a hatred and a fear.
Mm-hmm. I think that for political purposes, they try and use both. They like to establish that Trump hates Muslims and he's afraid of Muslims.
I have a phobia for your younger brother Gregory. It's called electrophobia. Electrophobia. It's spelled ALEK, electorophobia. Electorophobia. You know what that means?
No.
It's not fear of Alex. It's not fear of Alex.
Okay. Is it Alec, like fear of the labor? You're
not going to believe this. It's fear of chickens.
My little brother fears no chicken.
Because he's the chicken warden. He's in charge of the chickens.
Why would he be? He doesn't hate chickens or is afraid of. I will stand for my little brother. I won't take this anymore. My little brother isn't afraid of any chicken. Period.
My favorite is anthrophobia.
Fear of ants?
No, anthrophobia, fear of people. A lot of actors have this.
Or just a fear of anthropologists, because there's a lot to be afraid of there.
No, but anthropophobia is a very interesting. A lot of actors, I actually have it. The reason I became a stage actor at an early age was because I have a fear of crowds. I don't hate crowds, but I have a fear of them. Because I fear that they're going to become a mob and do damage to me. But when you're on stage, there's this barrier called the stage lip and the footlights. And the footlights shine in your face and blind you to the presence of the mob. So that I could become Mark McIntyre without fear that the mob would attack me. Seriously.
One more point that I want to bring up that's really... they constantly accuse conservative people of being homophobic, which from as we just discussed, their crazy, weird thinking means they're afraid of homosexuals. I've always sat back, and also transphobic means that they also accuse them of being transphobic. I'm sitting back here going, those are the least scary people in the history of the world.
Yeah, I know.
The least scary people. I mean, maybe
I was in Hollywood for many years. I was in San Francisco for many years. Believe me, I have known quite a few people who identify as transsexual. All of them were psychiatric patients. All of them were seeing psychiatrists. All of them had suicidal tendencies. Many of them actually committed suicide. It's tragic. It's tragic because they cannot fit into a society according to nature, according to biology. There's no place for them, and they suddenly realize this. It's very sad. I don't hate these people at all. I want to help them.
What about afraid? Would you? I mean, the left would accuse you of being afraid.
I'm not afraid of them. Of course not.
See, that's the point I'm getting at.
No.
It's. I mean, that's what bothers me about the left is that they need to brand anyone who disagrees with them as either afraid of or haters. When the reality is, conservatives just have a different perspective on how to help them.
They do. They do.
I mean, you can disagree with that, fine, but don't mislabel the intentions when it's ever so clearly explained.
All right, let's talk about the last one because our time is running out.
Okay.
Philophobia. Philophobia.
You're going to accuse me of having this, aren't you?
Yes. That's why I picked it out. A fear of love.
Lovers fear me.
Yes. But you know what? You're on the right path. Alex. I
feel like this was all one big setup.
I just sent you an email of a lady who is a little bit younger than I am, but she has sent me many solicitations for love, right? And I must say, I've had quite enough of love relationships in my life, and I'm not really prepared to deal with this.
Well, you didn't do it very well. I'd like to point it out.
What do you mean I didn't do it very well?
How many babies did you make?
Be like Pope Francis.
How many babies did you make?
I don't know.
Problem number one.
I don't know.
Failure number one.
There may be many Mark McIntyres running around the internet. I can tell you that. Okay.
Failure number one.
But I won't
drill down any deeper because I think you've done enough drilling.
I don't have a philophobia. I'm not afraid of love. It's just that I've outgrown my need for it. And I hope and pray that happens to you one day. Because it solves a lot of problems, really. You can really concentrate on things.
I'll leave on this, even though it's a little bit off topic.
Although
it does solve a lot of problems, it also lacks to create many, many solutions.
If you're looking for an argument, you better try another topic. Cheers, Alex.
Cheers, my good love.